but I wanted to go over because once again, issues are coming up about where you can carry, methods you can carry. So I brought the law book, and I'm just going to read through it. And if you got a question, give me a call here, 254-697-6633. But we're going to go over Penal Code 4602, 4603, and 46035. And it's basically revolves around the carrying of a weapon if you have a license or if you don't have a license. So let's start off with this. Penal Code Section 4602, unlawful carrying of a weapon. This section does not apply to a person in possession of a valid license and carrying a handgun. In other words, if you don't have a license, this is going to apply to you, okay? It says a person commits an offense if a person intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly carries on or about his or her person a handgun, illegal knife, or club if that person is not on the person's own premises or premises under the person's control. Obviously, if it's somebody else's premises or whatever and they have authority to be there, then they're okay. Or inside of or directly en route to a motor vehicle that is owned by the person or under the person's control. Notice it says inside of or directly en route to. A person commits an offense if the person intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly carries on or about his or her person a handgun in a motor vehicle or watercraft that is owned by the person or under the person's control at any which time in which the handgun is in plain view, unless it's in a shoulder or belt holster and you got a license. But we're talking right now, I want to talk specifically about people who don't have a license. Or you're engaged in criminal activity other than a Class C misdemeanor that is a violation of law or ordinance regarding regulating traffic, prohibited by law from possessing a firearm, or a member of a street gang, okay? So let's break this down. If you don't have a license, people ask me this, can I carry a gun in my car? And the answer is yes. I gotta fix this camera here. Here we go. Okay, the answer is yes. Can you carry it? If you don't have a license, can you have a gun in your car? And then they say, or I ask them these questions, if you don't have a license and you have the gun in your car, can it be loaded? And a lot of people tell me, oh, no, it can't be loaded. Well, the answer is yes, it can be loaded. And what does loaded mean? We've talked about it on this radio show many times. What does a loaded handgun mean? It means the magazine could be loaded, the chamber could be empty, but the law still considers it to be loaded. The handgun could have ammunition in the magazine, it could have one in the chamber, it's loaded. The handgun could be next to the magazine, and a lot of people will consider it because it's readily accessible that the gun is loaded. So in those, that's the definition of a loaded handgun. But if you're in your vehicle and you don't have a license, you can have a handgun that is loaded and ready to go. What's the one stipulation though? The stipulation is if you don't have a license and you have a handgun in your car, it must be concealed. Now let's talk about this. In your premise, your home's a premise, right? Do you have to conceal your weapon? No, of course not. Your vehicle is considered your premise. However, there's a stipulation on this premise. This premise says if you're going to have a handgun in your vehicle, it must be concealed. If you do not have a handgun license, a license to carry, and you want to carry a handgun in that vehicle, you can do so as long as it's concealed. It's got to be concealed. Okay? When it says here, I read the handguns in plain view unless in a shoulder or belt holster, this is an open carry state. So if you do have a license to carry and you're in your vehicle, it can be in the open, but it must be in the open secured in a shoulder holster or a hip holster. That is the way it's permissible to be in public view. That is, if you have a license and it's attached and secured in a shoulder holster or a belt holster. Okay? Now, let's go to Penal Code 4603. I'm going to go fast on this. A lot of people say, where can I not go with a handgun? And I asked them, what would you rather do? Would you rather learn the probably millions of places you can go with a handgun, or the 10 to 12 places and conditions that you can't go? And obviously they look at me and they go, well, of course, it's easier to memorize 12 than it is 10. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to go over the 10 places and the two bonuses that you can't go or can't do when carrying a weapon with a license, okay? So here we go. This is Penal Code 4603. The number here is 254-697-6633. Pay attention. Listen to me. Listen to the words I say, because the words I say have specific meaning. I don't use them unless it's important, okay? There's 10 places you can't go. There's a bonus place you can't go, and there's a condition you can't be in. So let's pay attention. Penal Code 4603 has 7 of them. It says, places, weapons prohibited. This section makes it an offense to possess or carry any weapon into the following places, even if you have a license. Number 1, physical premises of a public or private school or institution. Comma, new thought. Here's number 2. Grounds where a school-sponsored activity is being conducted or passenger transportation vehicle of a school unless pursuant to written regulation or authorization of the institution. What that means is this. It says we're grounds where a school-sponsored activity is being conducted. It didn't say grounds where a school-sponsored activity gets conducted. It says where it's being conducted. See the difference in the words? So you could be in a track and field that nothing's going on and be okay as long as there's no signs posted. But if they happen to have a school function going on there, track and field events or whatever, it's a school-sponsored activity, you can't go there. So it's where it's being conducted. So it's premises of a physical or public, private school institutions, number 1. Grounds where school-sponsored activity is being conducted, number 2. Number 3, premises of a polling place on election day or during early voting. That's pretty simple, right? We don't want to sway the vote. We got that enough happening with dead people voting and illegals voting and the whole works, but I'll get political if I do that, so I'll just shut up. Premises of government, court, or offices used by court. That was what, 4? Premises of a racetrack. Mafia doesn't want competition. Secured area of an airport. What is the secured area of an airport? Is it where you buy your tickets? No. Is it where you park your car? No. The secured area of the airport is where they grope you, okay? When you get to the line to go to your gate and you got TSA and they grope you and x-ray you, that's when you're entering the secured area of an airport, so you cannot go in there with a firearm. Within 1,000 feet of an execution place on execution day, I'm ad-libbing. That's Huntsville. If they got an execution going on, they're going to probably mark it off 1,000 feet. You can't go around there if you got a license to carry. They're afraid you're going to break somebody out, okay? So what was that, 7? Now, this section defines premises to include a building or a portion of a building. It does not include driveways, streets, sidewalks, walkways, parking lots, or garages. So if I go up to one of those places and I'm on the sidewalk, can I be there? Yes, because it's not a premise. Can I go, if there's an awning attached to a building and it's covering the sidewalk and you want to stand under it because it's raining, is that a premise? Is that part of a premise, considered a premise? I don't know. So if you're in doubt, stand in the rain, okay? That was 7 of them. Now, there's going to be 3 more and then 2 bonuses in the next penal code, section 46035. They label this one unlawfully carrying of a weapon by a license holder. This section makes it unlawful for a license holder to carry in the handgun in the following situations. Number 8 on our list is going to be on the premises of a business that derives 51% or more of its income from the sale or service of alcoholic beverages for on-premise consumption as determined by the Alcoholic Beverage Commission. Now, does that mean I cannot go into a liquor store? No, it does not. They do not consume liquor in a liquor store. They sell liquor and alcohol in a liquor store. They do not consume it. The rule here says on the premises that derives 51% or more of its income from the sale or service of alcoholic beverages for on-premise consumption. A bar. Does Chili's count? Does Bennigan's count? No, because they make way more money on their food than they do their alcoholic beverages. Okay? You will see TABC, Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission, they will post a sign at a convenience store, at bars. Convenience stores will have the sign that says the unlicensed possession of a weapon, blah, blah, blah. It's at the front door there. It's in blue letters. It means absolutely nothing for you, the licensed carry holder, and it means absolutely nothing for the criminal who wants to rob the store. It's a wasted tree to make a paper sign, okay? It means nothing. The next one will be the 51% sign. It's usually big red, and it says it's a felony if you enter this place. And that's from TABC. They're saying, look, we have designated this place that makes 51% or more of its income from the sale of service of alcoholic beverages for on-premise consumption. You can't go in there. That's a felony. Okay? So that was number 8. Number 9. On the premises where a high school, collegiate, or professional sporting or interscholastic event, like I always say that 5 times fast, is taking place unless the license holder is a participant in an event in which a handgun is used. Okay? Simple. 10. On the premises of a correctional facility. Duh. Do I have to explain that one to you? Now, bonus number 1. While the license holder is intoxicated. Do I have to go over that one? I don't think so. And bonus number 2, federal facilities, federal land and facilities. Don't jack with the feds, okay? You don't want to do that. That talks about post offices. If you're a vet, that talks about bringing your gun with you in your vehicle on the VA parking lot, going into VA buildings. Don't do it. There's an incident I know of. An individual did a traffic violation in a VA parking lot, pulled over by the police, found out he's LTC. Obviously, he's a good Joe. Says, yeah, officer, I'm a licensed carrier. It's in the car there. Bam! Under federal regulation, judges and all this kind of stuff, criminal act, blah, blah, blah. It's not worth it. Don't do it. Those are the 10 places you can't go and the 2 bonuses that you can't. So, here's how you do it. If you follow up on this with this video, or if you've written down what I've told you over the radio, you should have 12 things, 10 places you can't go, 11 places you can't go, and 1 condition you don't want to be in, that's intoxicated, okay? All you have to do now is wherever you go, you say to yourself, is this place that I'm about to go into one of my list of 12? And if it's not, did anybody post a sign up that says I can't go in? And the sign has to be proper. It has to be Penal Code 30-6 or a Penal Code 30-7 sign. That's for another day, another class. Okay. So if they don't have those signs and nobody verbally tells you and is standing there who has a position of authority and says, I don't know who you are, but if you have a license to carry, you're not authorized to come in here. They gave you a verbal command. You cannot go in there. Otherwise, you're trespassing. Okay. Learn the 12. Learn what 30-6 and 30-7 are, and I have videos on that. You can look them up. Memorize it, and it's a very easy way to know if you can go to one place and you can't go to another. Now, there's one other thing that a lot of people have a problem with, and it says that the following premises restrictions on entry do not apply without effective notice, and that is hospitals or nursing homes, amusement parks, church, synagogues, place of worships, or governmental entities. Ladies and gentlemen, if there is not a 30-6 or 30-7 sign posted, and nobody in position of authority told you you can't go in there, you can go into a hospital or a nursing home. You can go into an amusement park. You can go into a church, synagogue, or other place of worship. You can go into a governmental entity. That's the law. That's what it says. Understand the law. Don't be pushed around by ignorant people who do not know what they're talking about and trying to push an agenda because they're beating you with ignorance, okay? You can go into those places, and the condition is there must be a sign posted for you to be restricted from going in there. Learn the law. Be a responsible citizen with a firearm. Learn the law. Know the laws. Be empowered by the law. Okay,